Good afternoon. We'd love to start. My name is Adam Shem. I'm going to be the programmer of today, or you can call me the MC. And thank you so much for taking your time to be with us here today. Inaweza fika hata 10 hiyo 1 2. Lakini igoje kidogo. 1 2. Okay. 1 2. Ngoja tutafika mpaka 1000 baadaye. Haya. Anataka mtu mmoja tu asimame tu atuambie why we are here today. Who can volunteer? Who can volunteer and tell us why we are here today? Who is standing up? Who is standing up? A whole packet. Who is standing up? Who is standing up? Guys, ama kuna lecturer wenu yote hapa hivi ndani tumwambia toke nje. Mmeogopa kujibu maswali. Nobody? Yes.
My name is Susan. The reason why we are here today is to learn on mental health, relationships and financial well-being. So we are here to learn, relearn and unlearn. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan. Tupigie Susan makofi. Until it is your turn, what are you supposed to be doing? Until it is your turn, what are you supposed to be doing? And why are you not clapping? Clap. Thank you so much. I'd love for us to start, and as we start, I'd love to invite Mr. Ben Muriuki, who is going to be representing the Office of the Dean, to just welcome us all. Karibu.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Mazem naka serious. Break the formality. Try to interact. Kujuana pia. Itakuwa sawa. My name is Ben Muriuki, Career Services Officer. I'm representing the Dean of Students, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome the guests around. Let's take time to listen to them. There is something has been mentioned by Susan about financial management, mental health and relationship, isn't it? Now, kuna key ingredient kwa those 3 items. One is time management. So, time management in terms of the time you take here, ensure that the here and the now, you're utilizing it. Your focus is here. You are here, but your mind is not here. So, that's from my side. For the staff members around, you can see my colleague, Purity. Yes. Can you clap for her, Purity, that side? Any other member of staff? I want to recognize the outgoing Zusa team. How many know Zusa? Ferdinand and Caleb. These are the leaders of Comrade. Kwa hivyo. Yeah, so I normally tread carefully with these people. Others wanaweza panga mtusalimie. So that's why nimetulia hivi saa hizi. Thank you. MC, you can take over.
Tupige makofi. Thank you so much. How many of us love playing games? How many? 1. Okay, those who love playing games. Do you have a pen and a paper? You have a pen and a paper? So, I want us to play a game. Tunacheza na light bana. Mimi, I'm already dark. Ukininyima light, unatakaje bana? I am here to be seen bana. Come on. Amu nisaidie rangi yako basi niongezee yangu ndio nionekane. Let us play a game. How many of us want to play a game on this side? 1, 2, 3, 4. So, how many of us want to play the game on this side? Need an equivalent number. 1, 2, 3, 4. What on this side? We want to play the game of why and because. Okay? So I want you to just write down on a piece of paper the question why, and then you add something to it. For example, a random question would be, why did we cry in Addis Ababa? Okay? And then, on this side, I want you to respond to the random question they are going to be asking. So just say, because Kasongo. So any, just give any because, okay? We will know why later. And then as we start off, I'd love to now invite Miss Frida, who is the co-founder at Convo, to set the base so that we can begin. Karibu. Women in tech.
Women in STEM.
Women in STEM. STEM tech. Just get a makofi wanawake jamani. Ama you don't have women here. That is better.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Frida. I'm delighted to be here, and it's so wonderful to see you here, that you took time off to come and be with us at Convo. I'm the co-founder of Convo Africa, and I'm also a medical doctor by profession. I work in a hospital in the neighborhood called Brain, Spine and Rehabilitation Hospital. So I just want to give a brief overview of what Convo Africa is. And I can't see the CEO around. He's somewhere taking care of some guests. But Convo Africa, the word Convo comes from the word conversations. Convo Africa started in 2020 during COVID, when we were all in lockdown, and it started with a simple conversation. So I have known James for quite a number of years. He's been my friend for a long time, and the one thing that comes out every time you are having a conversation with James is, let's talk about this. Can we have a conversation around this? So I was a medical student when I met him, and he would insist that I need to write. And I said, I'm not a writer. I've never written anything in my whole life. Maybe just a paragraph for someone who's hurt me on WhatsApp. So he said, if you can talk, you can write. And I would say, I don't think writing is for me. And he would always say, can we have a conversation about it? Can you not block this conversation? Can we talk about it tomorrow? So we started like that. He was already doing a blog. He would call it Daily Hunch. And the thing that has amazed me about James over the years is his consistency. Those who know him know James is very consistent. So he would write blogs every single day. And so he introduced me into writing, and I started writing blogs, and I would write about everything and anything. And then one day he said, we need to talk about it. And James is a listener, I'm a yapper, I'm a certified yapper. So he said, okay, you're doing medicine, so instead of talking about why Mary gave birth to Jesus as a virgin, talking about, I don't know, this and that and this and that, how about you just focus on your niche? And we create a program and call it Doctor's Bench. And that's where one of the programs at Convo was born, Doctor's Bench. So we started to talk about conversations around mental health. We created a whole program for an entire year. James is also a very good planner, and we started to talk about, in a month we'll talk about women health, next month we'll talk about men's health, pediatrics, and all that. And when we continued writing, when we did the mental health blogs in May, so many people reached out, especially young people, and people were like, I have bipolar, I was told I have depression, what do I need to do? I'm not able to afford this and that, this and that. So now we created a program out of Doctor's Bench called Healing is Possible. And we started to find help for the people that were reaching out. So those are two programs, okay? Doctor's Bench and Healing is Possible. Then we went on, and as we were talking about what we need to do, why we are the way we are, why we see things the way that we are, he said, I think we need to be bold enough and start talking to people. And I said, no, I'm not a camera person, I am an introvert, please don't take me out there, I don't want to be out there. And he said, okay, this is what we are going to do. You and I will have a conversation. We will just talk the way we normally talk when we meet. And then someone will come with a camera and ignore the camera. Just ignore the camera, let's talk about something. So our first conversation in 2020 was about demystifying fear, and I was terrified the whole time. So we had a conversation about demystifying fear, and he kept saying, the way he did the setup, he kept saying, I don't want you to look at the camera, look at me, let's just have a conversation. And that's how we started having conversations online. And as a result, we realized that the things we were talking about resonated with so many young people. And every time James sees young people, he sees potential. So like now he came forward and told me, I think we need to talk about young people and money. What are the things you wish you were told when you were young, when you're just about to leave college? What is that one thing you wish someone came forward and told you about your finances? And as we started having the conversation, I realized I too need to have someone talk to me about money. Because sometimes you spend money, you don't have a plan. James will keep asking me, so what's your 5-year plan? Where are we headed? So that's how now we created Heartbeats and Horizons last year. Our first event was here. How many remember Heartbeats and Horizons season 1? How many were there for Heartbeats and Horizons? You guys are all new in Zetech. That's wonderful. That means we will continue to build the relationship. So we created Heartbeats and Horizons specifically for young people, and we said, I think we need to have conversations and have meaningful conversations, thought-provoking conversations, and see, by the time a student is leaving college, they are equipped to survive out there, okay? So that's how Heartbeats and Horizons came up. And then the other program at Convoy is called He Matters, a program that happens in November. The program is just about men. So the last one was about men, meat, and money. So these guys just went somewhere and they said, we don't want the ladies. I mean, tapanga ya ladies. They had nyama choma somewhere. They had very good conversations. And that has been going on for quite some time. So as a result of these 4 programs, we usually have a magazine called Convo Magazine, which is a quarterly issue. So everything that happens today will be featured in our magazine that is coming out in 31st of March, okay? So if you would like to, if you want to pick some of the things that we've been talking about since we started, they're in our website. The magazine is on the website. It just goes for 250 shillings. If you want physical copy, we can get it to you. So Convo Africa is just about conversations. So here, we are all here today just to talk, okay? We are here to have conversations about money, about mental health, and how money affects your mental health, because those are 2 things I never actually thought were related until James asked me the other day, do you think, it was in January, we were thinking about Heartbeats and Horizons, and he asked me, do you think your finances affect your mental health? And I said, pause. I said, pause, and I said, I will think about it. Then he said, okay, we can have a conversation about it. And so we have a lineup of guests that are going to help us advance that conversation. And I hope you will think about what is said. We want to engage with you. We want to have this conversation together. I hope by the time you leave here, you will be financially literate. Sawa sawa. So thank you all for coming. A special recognition to all our guests who agreed to spare their time and come. And I hope this is going to be an interactive session. Thank you.
Makofi. Nimesikia uache kutuma long paragraphs kwa chat, unaweza pewa a whole column uandike kitu na kukwaza roho, si ndio? Kwa sababu unaweza tuma 3 paragraphs, read more, na nakwambia nini? Shajipata hapo? 3 paragraphs, read more, alafu jibu kama si sticker inakuwa na tunasonga mbele. Now, tukisonga mbele, I want to invite the first speaker of the day, and this is Amos Ngahu. Amos Ngahu is a, correct me if I'm reading the name correctly. Thank you. I don't want to massacre your name. So Amos Ngahu is a financial coach. He is the founder of Money Clinic Limited, a firm that offers integrated training solutions to corporates in the form of financial literacy and mentorship. He is also the founder of a program called Money Gossip, designed for young professionals and entrepreneurs aimed at helping them to make the best out of their money in their active years. It is his passion and desire to see others achieve financial freedom that has fueled his drive to coach on money matters, a journey which began 17 years ago. And we are lucky to have him here today to speak to us. Karibu. Makofi ya karibu. Alafu Si ukimaliza inafaa tuongee niulize nani alibia mwenzake jeans. Thank you.
Zetech. Kwani umeshuka? Wagwa. Good afternoon. See, I don't like people being very comfortable, so I've been allocated 20 minutes. So inua mkono, sema I, say your name, say I. Nimekubali kupashwa for the next 20 minutes. So help me God. Si mnaona ninyi mmejiweka hapo ndani. So like you've heard, my name is Amos Ngahu, and for close to 2 decades now I've just been helping people relate better with their finances, isn't it? Now a quick one, because you know your comrades. Si mnajua ule mtu akiwa na pesa lazima mtajua. Who is that? When they have money you will know. Huh? And when they don't have money, what happens? MIA, huh? Wonderful. So thank you so much. Something else you need to do for me, please remove your phones. Just take out your phones. This is the only session you are allowed to use your phone. Please go to your TikTok app if you're on TikTok or on Instagram. Okay, so punguza volume. Kikata utoe battery, So, go. Hey. Maajabu haya. So quickly on TikTok, search for Money Gossip. Go to the DM there because we may not have a Q&A session. You can pose your questions there after this. Because I'm only timed here for only, how many minutes? 20, isn't it? Now, if you're not on TikTok, after Instagram, Marakaraka. Instagram is Money Clinic. So that is where you will put and post those questions so that by the time I'm getting back, I will have answered your questions. Okay, is that in order? Is that in order, members? Now, can I start by giving you a story? Is that okay? Is that in order? What is the average age of guys we have here? Average age? 22? 22? So if you think it's 22, say I. Okay, 23, say I. 24, say I. So it's 22. Wonderful. Now here's the thing, and I've not said this before, and I've not shared this story before. At the age of 21, I was very much suicidal. I wanted to take away my life. And the circumstances that led to that were very difficult. How many of you stayed a while before you got to Zetech? You stayed at home because your parents are not having that money. Anybody? Good. Now, how do you feel when you compare yourself with your colleagues who are now in campus? And I remember that time we were living in Juja. So I used to go play basketball in JKUAT. I still play basketball on Anita Steph Carrier. Those of you who get it, you will get it. But however, so what happened is that things were so thick at home. And every time, I was not an average player. And every time I would make it to the team that is selected, only for them to realize I'm not a student and I would be dropped out. And now all your other friends are either doing medicine or something because you realize that your parents cannot afford, that time it was a parallel program, and we could not have So then that is the time I realized that I have to look for an odd job. So anybody who can guess what I was doing? Anybody? You know, I have a copy of my book. I might just give you a copy of my book. Andy, get me a copy of my book. They think I'm kidding. Yes, sir. Sorry, is that a sir? Unajua kwa giza. I want to please confirm is he, him. So he, him, eh? What do you think I was doing? What's your name? Yenyewe umenibeba lakini ufala. It's fine. Anybody else? Okay, a tip. I'm a millennial. I'm turning 43 in the coming few weeks. So you can guess those go-to jobs then. Anybody?
Mjengo.
Nani amesema mjengo? Very good cameraman. The truth is I was working in a construction site. Okay? And if you want to confirm, please go to Juja. Opposite, anybody who knows High Point? Opposite High Point, there is Kenya Institute of Organic Farming huko ndani. That is where we were working. And I used to earn 110 shillings per day. So on Saturdays is when we were being paid at midday. So we would get a whooping 660 shillings. Nipigieni makofi. So you can be sure my working style on Saturday midday was very different. Sindio? And this is what happened. In one of those weeks, my dad is still there, lakini anapenda kuenda gym. My dad likes working out. So mnajua hiyo gym from here to here. Naelewa hiyo gym. So my dad comes to me and tells me, kuna mali naendea check. Can you give me 500 shillings? Nitakurudishia hata ikiwa dhao. Nikampatia 500 yangu. And then I went and showered. Nilikuwa na simiti kwa uso and I waited for him. Yeah. Lo and behold. Unajua mnyama anaitwa kutoa. Ndio alinigonga proper. So at 5 p.m. I met with my dad high as a kite. So he had drunk my whole week's wage. Okay? Now, what I have not told you is that there was a neighboring crush I had. Hey, nipigeni makofi. I don't know where she went. She was called Hope. And she used to attend USIU. So I used to wake up early nikienda mjengo. So I make sure, majamaa si mnajua kucause coincidence. Si mnajua coincidence. So inakuwa coincidence, mnapatana, you walk with her, she's crossing over naenda tao, mimi namwambia naenda Kole Thika. So I'd cross her the other side of the road, once ameenda na mimi naenda mjengo. So I remember even that week, you know, lunchtime I used to rush home and eat whatever was there for lunch. And every time I left the site, I had to like wipe the knee off my face, simiti na nini, ndio niende. So that day, I did not do that. Then apparently she had left class early, so tulipatana na yeye pap kama nimeparara na simiti kwa uso. So that is the last time she spoke to me. So boy child, tafadhali, focus. Now, why am I telling you this story? Is because for the longest time, people have always tried to refuse the fact that financial issues can actually lead to mental illness. Now, I was not trying to commit suicide because of that girl, but then inajipenda sana. But the fact that after that tulikosana na mzee and I had to be where was I? Ati?
Mzee.
Sasa kwani mnabishana si mtu mmoja tu ongea? Where was I? Yeah, tulikosana mzee and because ya ile hasira ya 500 I was kicked out and I was sent to the village, a place called Nyandarua County or Jororok. And that is the place I went. I had never used a jembe in my life, so naenda kungangana na watu, I got blisters and things were really thick for me. That's the time I decided let me end my life because all my friends are in campus, mimi niko hapa nangangana. But for some reason God was gracious to me. He told me make a deal with me and I will see you through. And for me to start this journey of finances is that my dad, I want to say here and now, that my dad up to now he's not broke. He's not a poor man. Okay? But there were traumas he faced and he transferred those traumas to me and to my family members. I have 3 other siblings. I'm the third born. They are all short anyway, so nasema mimi ndio mkubwa. Get it? And mimi sio. You guys are all of a sudden serious, eh? So what happened is that now my dad had traumas because he was forced to educate his siblings. Okay? He was forced by my grandmother. Now he's forced the same traumas to who? To us. And this is where you have to be careful. Today I just want to challenge you on self-audit. I'm sure Zetech does audit. You've heard of auditing, isn't it? Sometimes they have external auditors and sometimes internal auditors, isn't it? Why do you think an institution like Zetech is looking for auditors? Okay? One obvious reason is a going concern, isn't it? We know what a going concern is. If your business can be in operation for quite some time. Are we together? So can I give you one tip of audit? Please start auditing your culture, money culture. You know, I graduated last year from Strathmore University. Okay, so you clap at me. That is my first degree. Last year. And because of interacting with those young people like you, some of them were competing, nani akona limit kubwa ya Fuliza. One was saying, mimi niko na 17. I was saying, me I have 28k limit. Now, it has become so normal that you are assuming Fuliza is your money. Look at your neighbor, tell them Fuliza is not your money. In fact, tell them you cannot borrow your way out of poverty. Angalia kama nakasirika. Mwambie alishasamehea Amos mapema. Ndio, simulisema ni wapashe. So start auditing even your debt life. Why are you taking that debt? So kama wewe umezoea, when you're growing up, you are sent to a shop, go get those things, and then your parent is telling you they will come and pay. What happens? You begin to okay the very idea of borrowing for consumption. Let me tell you something. The worst kind of debt I've come across is consumption debt. It has been said about 30% of people who go through depression. 30% of people who go through depression. 30%. How many? Percent is related to debt. Mtu wako na deni hadi wanamuita Dennis. You get my point? Let me tell you something. If you're struggling right now with Fuliza, the day you get a job, you will be struggling with much more debt. You guys are living in dangerous times. If you go to your phone, you've seen now everybody is harvesting your data. Are you aware? So if someone goes through your social media, they can run data and tell you're a student and you spend an average of 2,000 shillings a week, isn't it? So they have already calculated your limits. Are you aware? But if they come to my social media, they see I am a speaker, they see and it's the same app. Let's say we are applying the loan from the same app. My limit will be higher because they are auditing the lifestyle. Now, lo and behold, kameramani pale amepata msichana hajalipwa allowance ya leo, anasema wacha kwanza nipeleke dem out, sina dola lakini niko naka Fuliza. So start auditing your culture on debt. Some of you are students and are supporting people back at home. Kweli ama si kweli? Why? Why are we beginning jamaa makofi? Ahadi ni deni. I'll sign for you. Are we together up to that point? Please, my dear brothers and sisters, please start auditing some of your habits. It is time you started auditing your spending habits. You know, I want to talk about something that is the public domain. Right? Do you like the way someone was arrested for saying this? Do you like the way they said the money that was spent on the campaign for Mzee? Do you like that amount? Assuming it is true. Would you like that?
No.
Have you ever seen, or did you see, I think the county government, was it of Bungoma, that had spent, I think, 300,000 on a billboard in Bungoma, wishing the Mzee well? Did you see that? Are you okay with that budget? Then why are you okay overspending your money? Should I say the government is a true reflection of its people? Nimesema hivyo na kuna mahali mtanipeleka. Audit your spending habits. The other thing you need to audit is your money personality. You realize that people already know your personality. Si kuna mtu amesemekana akiwa na pesa anajulikana? Yeah? So they know when you have money, so you have to know what kind of money personality you have. If you check through my videos, you'll get to know your personalities. There's money monks, there's spenders, there's avoiders, and then there's what? Hoarders. Audit your money personality. And then finally, it's time you audited the relationships you have with people. I'm sure you're not liking this, huh? It's time you audited the relationships you have with. You are a student. The person you're dating is a fellow student. Why are you paying all the bills? Yeah, I said it. So, let me tell you something. Your life in campus, wherever you go to work, it will be an extension. Even when you get married, it's the same thing. Okay? So are we noting the things we need to audit? Because at the end of the day, as I conclude, you have to be very intentional about learning. How many of you are following? Okay, how many of you follow me? Anybody? Anybody who follows my page? Okay. Anybody who follows Just Ivy? Anybody who follows Susan Wanjiku? Anybody who has a financial app that allows them to control their expenses? Please subscribe to these things. Are we together? If you don't have those apps, please look for My Zola. I have interests there. My Zola. They will help you track some of these things. Let me tell you something. Do you know what is killing you? Or what is the biggest risk you have right now as a young person? Casualness. Is what? Casualness. Okay? I want to conclude by saying money does not stay where it is needed. It stays where it is. Anybody who can finish that, I have an extra copy. Money does not stay where it is needed. It stays where it is. Siwonge, niko na copy hapa. I need to give out this book. It stays where? Utilized. Naona mna form vitu zenyu. At what? Spent pia hiyo ni yako. Money does not stay where it is needed. It stays where?
Not needed.
Wewe naona ni kama unamwa Kenya. It stays where it is respected. So the thing is, if I choose today to buy each one of you lunch worth 1,000 bob, say amen. And let's say I forget, and my good man there reminds me that I will send all of you 1,000 bob. Okay? That 1,000 bob will mean different things to people. Are you aware? If, for instance, my good follower here, what's your name? Rebecca. Rebecca looks like she has all her stuff together. So let's say she's done business today, 18,000 has landed on her phone. But then cameraman pale amefuliza kila kitu. Okay? So if I send you my 1,000, you will appreciate, but it will not have a significant impact. But for him, he goes home, and that is when his tokens end. And then my 1,000 lands on your phone. Isn't that a miracle?
Yes.
So it has more value because you have attached it to a recurrent expense. Are we together? All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, that was my time. So please shoot your questions on my DM because I don't think we'll be able to answer them here. And then we can interact some more. So thank you so much.
Hapo